We're getting technical, more technical hiccup news.
I think it just goes to show you can make a product as good as it can be, and the website will still let you down.
Reintroduce yourself to YouTube, people.
Okay, hello YouTube. You've missed some stuff. Welcome, or thanks for joining us, or I guess really thanks for us joining you, because you've probably been here for the last few minutes waiting for us to get going. But it's okay.
It's fine.
Totally great.
We were just explaining what our new products are.
Starting with the Harker shirt, which is a button-up shirt. What were you asking?
I was asking how difficult the buttons were to sew on.
To sew on, they're like buttons. They're the same as normal buttons. It is not hard to sew on a button. It takes some time.
Okay.
And we have this fancy machine that can do it that is mostly automated, but if you misalign the 4 holes on the button when you're putting it into the little thing that holds the button in place, the needle will hit the button, and because these are a composite, they're like plastic basically, when the needle hits the button just shatters in all directions in like a nice arc.
Nice.
Like the Death Star.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty fun. It doesn't hurt because it's like, but sometimes you get like sort of hit in the chest.
So you've made a shrapnel bomb.
Yeah, it just
created.
These are very small though.
Okay, so not overly complicated, but highly dangerous.
Okay, hold still. Let me zoom in on the buttons so people can see the contrasting colors. Turn maybe just a little, perfect. Oh yeah.
They're just like a little jewel toned, which I think is really nice. It pops really nicely, and it's sort of, they're a little iridescent.
We want like a ring in that color.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like match it up. I really like this shirt. I've actually been wearing the first prototype I've made to like the last few conventions I've been to, but nobody's really noticed.
Huh.
I've been sneaking it in here and there. It's been the sort of lowest key teasers we've done in a long time. It's shown up here and there in the background. But it is like, it's supposed to be almost traditional, but with a volante sort of.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of like, look, our people gotta go to work still.
Yeah, let me show people the detail on the shoulder too, because that's really interesting. A lot going on there. So is this, we had some people ask already, I noticed some questions, like, are these multiple pieces of fabric? Like, the construction on that seems, like, it looks deceptively simple, yeah, but...
Yeah, so the top, like the blue portion is 2 layers, because that's the most sort of comfortable way to make a shirt, so you don't have the seam, the like raw side of the seam is not against your skin. So it's sort of sewn in on itself. And that's true even for this sort of extra triangle there. There's also 2 layers that have the like black portion of the fabric sort of sandwiched between them.
So how many separate pieces?
I don't know.
A lot?
Plenty, not as many as a coat, I think. But we do have like a sort of extra seams. I'm gonna say maybe 25 pieces.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's not like 60 or 120 or something like that, which is true of some of our other coats.
Oh god, what are the
panels?
These sort of princess seams?
Yeah, is that what that's called?
Technically, there isn't a better word for it.
It's got to be. Almost certainly there has to be a better word for it.
Yeah. But I think it adds a really nice structure, and it sort of fits really well. It follows the lines of the Corvo Vest and the Harker Vest and other things in the Novus Noir collection.
So I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Will you tell me a little bit about the Novus Noir collection?
Because
Because these things
yes,
go together.
they do go together, and the Novus Noir collection is one of our like sort of least developed collections. It's one of our youngest collections. It's kind of to put it in 2 words, executive goth.
I like those words.
It's supposed to be sharp. It's supposed to be slightly twisted, have a couple of extra points, but like somewhat understated and happy. So be a little gothy, but not like goth so much, but like something you could wear to work and also look a little
to
sharp.
The show afterwards.
Yeah, look a little bit like a vampire. That's kind of the idea.
So a vampire with a day job.
Exactly. A
Fascinating.
day walking vampire who
Okay.
also works.
Yeah, well, you got to.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age.
Capitalism, baby. Yeah. That makes sense. All
Can
right.
we move on to
Let's talk about the vest. So what is the vest?
the Corvo Vest? Corvo being crow.
Mhm.
Another item in our sort of an honorary member of our Novus Noir collection is the Rook, which is also a Corvid. Corvids generally sort of gothy, or at least they're a bit dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So,
gothic birds.
right. So Corvo is also in that collection. We may make like bats, those kinds of things. Products named based on these things. I have no idea what those are, but they will exist.
Okay.
Probably.
Promises.
It will exist, probably.
So the Corvo Vest is kind of when asked to describe it, I would say that it is like our After Image vest, but made in the Novus Noir sort of style.
I see that it's asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical. It's a little pointy. It's and the hem is sort of spiraling, so it sort of continues the highest point down to the lowest point.
Much like a spiral staircase that you would have in your haunted mansion.
Exactly.
I understand. I'm getting it. I'm in there. I'm living the vision with you.
It also has a hood. It's made out of a kind of outerwear weight material, as opposed to the Harker vest, which is, I guess, also kind of heavy like that, but it's not designed like a piece of outerwear.
So it's a durable.
Yeah, this is more of a jacket without sleeves as opposed to a formal vest. We're
Which I'll
just
sort of shift over a little
shift
bit.
over just a touch.
Equidistant of the X. Thank you.
Sorry.
Make sure you're all in screen.
So as opposed to our other vests, which have like small slit pockets for like a pocket watch or a business card or something like that, these have like full pockets like those.
Do they have
They don't have these ones. They
to
didn't.
make it a little sleeker?
Yeah, it didn't really need snaps. It sort of sits really comfortably and pretty flat.
So the hood is removable.
Speaking of snaps.
That's a lot of effort goes into making a hood removable versus just non-removable, correct?
Yeah. Sewing it into the jacket as opposed to having the individual pieces separate. And there's logistically you have to not lose the hood because they're the same. They're different for every size. So when you're doing production, we have to be like really careful.
Oh. So you couldn't swap the hood on like a
From
39,
a 39
with
to a
a
55 or something like that.
I see.
No.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So they are because the neckline changes.
Yeah.
So the hood has to be
Ah.
the right size.
So pop it off.
I do.
It's probably pretty warm.
It is. I'm not going to deny that. I feel like I'm glistening.
You're a little shiny.
Yeah.
You're not overly
Am I
shiny.
just tossing that over there.
Oh yeah, I guess. After I
Or-
try it on. Aha.
Nice.
Perfect.
It's maybe not mine. It's not mine.
So,
Oh.
so there's this like sort of
asymmetrical
asymmetrical thing. and it-
neckline. I like that. I mean, obviously, but
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a clean look.
Yeah, I've been wanting to make this vest for years. I've had it in my mind, and it just never like seemed. It was never the right moment, or we didn't have a collection that it fit into, or like there were various points where it was like not quite the right thing. But at long last, we can do this one. I'm gonna just open it up a bit. Oh,
I thought you were taking it off, but before you take it off,
Caitlin,
here we go. To go full sort of
you have
vampire.
to, obviously.
the cape is deceptively easy to put on. Right?
Yeah. Maybe.
Take it, Leslie, and unbutton the first button.
Leslie,
And then you
on
can-
here.
Of the what? Of that.
Yeah, and then fold them. I'm gonna come on. This is what I did with Kyle the other day. It worked really well. I was unbuttoning that first button,
Ooh.
and then you can sort of like tuck that
Oh,
back,
dark
and you
color.
can see the
That's excellent.
I just feel like a vampire.
Yeah. I also like, so I'm wearing the women's Automata vest, which is not in the Novus Noir collection, but I like that you can tell just by the lines and the design the intention of each piece and like the style that it's going for and who it's for. And
Yeah, it's funny. The the Automata Vest is in the Augment collection because it's inspired by androids. But when we were re-releasing it, I was like, should we move it to the collection? Because it kind of fits.
I feel like there is space, and I don't want to force any ideas out into the room.
It could be a cross
I feel
collection.
like there's a space for something like this with maybe a bigger skirt and almost like a black maid's kind of. That's what I'm feeling.
Okay, so we have to make a different product for the Nova Snorkel.
Absolutely, of course.
This has to stay in the Augment
Yes,
collection.
yes. This is perfect how it is. I'm loving this. But I also want to be kind of a goth, like
Even more.
French maid. Yeah, I'm loving that.
So two sizing questions.
Yeah.
Draw93 asked, it's not really a question, it's more of an assertion, but I think it would be good for you to address. So ideally, size-wise, if you have some of our other vests, I know it's called a vest, but it's more like a vest jacket than a vest. So how would they size up to wear layers underneath the Corvo? How would you explain to people what their best bet?
Sure. I wear a 39 in every product and a 38 in shirts. But even if it's a vest like the Harker vest or this, I will always wear a 39. Some people for a jacket do like to size up because a vest should be closer fitted and they like it more, but they like a little bit more space in their jackets. This one at a 39 is going to fit pretty similar to like a Harker vest or one of our other jackets. So if you want to have room, if you want to wear it with a hoodie, which I think it would look pretty awesome with like a hoodie or a sweater or something, you could definitely layer up or size up. It wouldn't look bad.
Yeah. It's never going to look sloppy or over or hugely
for one
oversized.
side, exactly.
Yeah.
For one size up. Whereas like a Harker vest or like our Augment vest and stuff, one size up does sometimes look a little more sloppy.
Yeah, so before I move on to the next question, Eternity Shard mentioned that the Augment and the Harker have the Augment is a little looser than the Harker. Like depending on fabric, I guess will make a difference here.
Yeah.
Or
It's also, I mean, all our stuff is handmade. We try our best to make it like consistent in between each product as much as we can, but even just within a single product, two different size 39s might fit a little differently. And then also the materials are definitely going to have an effect on that. Some like heavier weight materials feel like they are closer fitting than lighter weight materials because they don't bend as much.
And this definitely isn't like hoodie material. It's not stretchy, so this is a more firm.
Yeah, this is pretty stiff. This one does have a little bit of stretch to the material. It's got a 2% spandex. It's the same material as our like Hacker jacket and our Son of Sparta and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
all right, cool. You can take that off. I can tell you're hot. Sweet. So Sir Valak asked, kind of roomage you got on the collar with it buttoned up? How's your neck feel up there?
In the shirt?
Yeah, and like what kind of consideration goes into sort of sizing the neck versus the rest of the shirt?
The neck was the biggest part of making a button-up shirt that I was most concerned with. But I do have room to breathe. I feel comfortable. In a normal shirt of the right size for me, I almost never feel comfortable buttoning up the neck. But I didn't go so that it's not big.
Mm-hmm.
I can put a whole finger in there comfortably.
Is there a way to not do that or say that?
I guess so. We can put some numbers to it. Well, something we should probably do is add numbers to the sizing chart
The neck.
on the page for just the neck, because that is, especially if you're going to wear a tie with it, you're definitely going to want to know that measurement.
You can hand that to me. So someone asked about the color of the auditory cape. It is a new color.
It is a new color, and that is the Roman stone color. And those are live, right? Yes.
Oh
They
yeah,
are.
you could buy one. You could buy one right now.
Yeah, they won't. That colorway won't be out for another couple of weeks.
It won't be shipping, but it
Won't be
is
shipping?
available to order.
Yes, they don't take very long. They don't take very long to make too. So I think the shipping date's not that far.
That's right.
Button your top button too. Goes well with that. For some reason, I know that this sort of Victorian look is very Victorian era is obviously known for its formality, but I think it looks really cool, like not formal too. Like it has a really nice sort of
little scallywag.
Yeah, like a mix of being formal and not formal.
To sort of subvert that, do a little bit of a Peaky Blinders kind of thing.
Ah.
Dress up, but
Maybe
then
with like less murder and alcoholism, but
slightly
As much
less.
as you need,
Yeah.
okay?
so what do you have here?
This is the Harker vest in Disciple Blue in our sort of blue herringbone wool. Right, so nice and cool. I want that. I'm gonna start putting air conditioners in our clothing.
So nice and cool, he says, dying.
We have these giant fans that have been running all day, but we turned them off for the live stream so that we could hear each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm constantly trying to adjust my exposure so that we can like see it well.
You're doing great, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it looks. I wasn't expecting the blue and the other blue.
To work.
Yeah. You know, when you get two colors that don't exactly match, it can look like you tried to match but didn't. But this doesn't look like that. I think this works well.
It turns it into like a 3-color
Yeah.
sort of blue shade.
It looks intentional in a way that, yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Cool. I have
We got a bunch of stuff. People were asking for
couple more
things.
vests. So here, Leslie, you can.
A live stream is really where we get to play dress up with David.
So this is Eclipse, and then we have, or not Eclipse, but Gilded Carbon, and then we have this in Eclipse.
Thank you.
Put that on.
Black on black.
Yeah, I know it's important that we see how black looks with the other black.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true though. There is a difference, and the gold I think in this is going to look really good with the blue because it's going to this gold and blue really play off of each other nicely.
Yeah. It's just a me preference. It does look nice. I think it's just because I'm an elder emo. I really like the Corvo. This just looks so. It looks clean in a way that I think the Corvo really is like.
Yeah. Somebody was saying on our
More
Discord
assertive.
that the Harker shirt almost could be in the Augment collection, to which I heartily disagree. But I see that they definitely work together.
Yeah.
For me, I think that the main difference between them is that this has like more curvature
Yeah.
in the seam,
Yeah.
and the
This
Augment
is
collection.
all rigid lines and yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Clean.
But I definitely think that colors are going to work really well together. The hard lines, like our designs, pair more nicely, like more broadly than I ever expected to. We shot the Rook, which I'm dreading. We just brought a Rook over. We shot the Rook with an Augment V4, and I was shocked how cool that looked. Just because they're like, to me, 200 years apart in their like design language.
Yeah, they live in different worlds, and yet they're all Volante.
Right.
So one final thing here as we're wrapping down the stream, just to see how close we can get you to dying. Oh, someone asked, Next 5-6 asked if there'll ever be a Virgil vest. Do you have a Virgil in the game?
Vest
in the game? Sorry.
He does wear a vest in the game, and I have considered it, but it is incredibly ridiculous.
It's vest.
It is because it's this like sort of zigzag front closure thing,
Oh.
which I feel like will be hard to pull off in a way that looks great.
Like a sawtooth kind of.
Well, it's not unlike Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like these sort of woven panels, except that they're all on top of one. You know,
It would be
it's-
$700.
It would be so much money, but it'd be fun.
All right, one final thing. Put the
Oh.
Corvo on, and then put the Rook on top of it,
Sick!
if you would,
I'm
please.
so excited
And then leave that on for the duration.
of my life.
To see how long it takes you to pass out.
We're gonna time it. Somebody get a timer going.
This is the new
There's a Rook right there.
August layer challenge.
I grabbed you the Victorian Fog Rook instead of the, or not the Victorian Fog. I'm sorry, the Great.
That is. You're right.
Is that right? Instead of the
Full screen.
green.
That makes sense.
I think it might.
This is the Rook, which you can also buy.
Someone on the Discord wants to know, what is the description of each design color? Why is this not an augment?
Aha!
Ah,
I'll try and do that.
yeah.
We're gonna start. I'm gonna explain that while I also put this on.
Unbutton your Corvo down, if you would, and then Where
Oh, yeah,
somebody asked about this. That's why I'm.
You pass out, do I get your vest?
yeah. Take it all as far as I'm concerned.
Fabulous.
Ooh, it looks good.
Of course it looks good. That looks
Got some layering,
Really?
layering lapels.
Why are we trying to melt David?
Let's see if it's possible.
Nice.
Yep, I wear that. How about just a single button then? So I can breathe. Yeah, that's great. To explain, what are our collections? Augment collection is sort of cyberpunk. It's very straight lines and 35-degree angles. Is like a major sort of design part of the design language. It's like straight lines with 35-degree angles. It's very sharp, kind of like circuit boards.
clean modern technology.
Yes. Then we have the Novus Noir, which is our sort of dark and spooky vampire, modern, also modern, but also sort of anywhere between 1700 and now. What other collections? Obviously, we have our licensed collections. Those all speak for themselves. The Star Warrior collection generally has been mostly Star Wars inspired, but it's broad in my mind. There could be many other things that would be added to it, like Battlestar Galactica or like other things like that that could be in there.
I worry about you saying things that could be in collections because I know that we're going to get messages about, so when is that happening?
So when does that happen?
So when are we doing Battlestar
We
Galactica?
got to add all sorts of stuff to it.
So when are you cowboy bebopping it up?
That would be perfect for Star Wars. These like sort of space cowboy things. All that stuff I would do. What other collections? Now I'm like trying to think off the top.
What are our collections?
I think those are the three primary collections. We used to have and the Ninja collection.
Yeah.
They were sneaking around in my brain.
That's ninjas for you.
That's ninjas for you. That is a sort of techwear inspired ninja. It's a ninja collection, but it is sort of futuristic. It's sort of techwear, but I distinguish it from the Augment collection because it doesn't have as many bold contrast colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not free running through a tech city.
Exactly. It's less cyberpunk and Netrunner, and it's more sort of
Shadow.
darkware, shadow, hangy straps, utilitarian.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then there's this super.
And then there's the Superhuman collection, which is just has the one thing, the friendly neighborhood jacket.
For now.
For now. Could be all sorts of super, but that one I think also speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's Superhuman collection.
Yeah. You
It's 95, 97 degrees today.
Yeah.
At 90% humidity, so maybe it's good to stop sweating.
Yeah, I think it's great. Thank you for being here on the stream and asking
Yeah.
pointed
Thank you
questions.
for letting me witness whatever's about to happen.
When we take this off, and
Yeah. Can we have orange juice and like a cookie or something for him?
You're very pale.
yes, I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining me, and Leslie and Jeremiah in the background, and everybody else who has sort of helped us. We'll see you next time.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's a bad gateway message coming from our website. I don't know how